Hello and welcome, this is Dr. Red Frizzle here, and today I'm going to be discussing with you the AQA Unit 2 GCSE cells topic. Okay, so first of all we're going to have a look at the structure of an animal cell and some of the basic organelles in it that are required for the level of knowledge that you need to know for GCSE. So first of all, an animal cell, where is the genetic information? Well, it's contained in something called the nucleus, which is in the middle of the cell. So I'll just draw you some genetic information in the middle. So that's your nucleus. And this basically controls all the activities of the cell. So all the sort of central interesting processes would take place primarily from this particular core of the cell, known as the nucleus. Okay, so surrounding this we have a jelly-like substance known as the cytoplasm. I'm drawing in the cell membrane, which sort of encapsulates this this gel-like substance that's known as the cytoplasm, which is where all the chemical reactions take place. So I'm going to start labelling this cytoplasm. Cytoplasm, quite difficult to write from this angle, so excuse my handwriting. C-Y-T-O-P-L-A-S-M, cytoplasm, gel-like substance where chemical reactions take place. Nucleus, N-U-C-L-E-U-S, which controls the activities of the cell, that particular location. It also contains molecules such as DNA and proteins. I'll probably shade in some of this darker. Now, the reason is I'm not actually going to tell you what that structure is, but at A level you'll learn what that structure is if you do it to that level of depth. So I'll draw that in for you. Okay, so the next thing is the cell membrane. What is it used for? Which is this coating around the outside. It's known as a membrane. Membrane. A lot of people spell that wrong. The brain spelling is B-R-A-N-E, not as in the human brain, which is B-R-A-I-N. Okay, so we'll look at some of the other organelles. So we have mitochondria and ribosomes. So I'll draw you a mitochondria. Now, it's got this sort of zigzaggy pattern, which sort of maximise the surface area in it. You'll learn why during A-level biology, and you'll learn sort of the process of aerobic respiration that takes place within those mitochondria. So I'll label that mitochondria. Also in here we have some smaller structures, which will be slightly darker, and these are known as ribosomes. Ribosomes. R-I-B-O-S-O-M-E-S. Ribosomes. Okay, so these ribosomes are used for protein synthesis. They're the primary sort of site where this building of proteins, if you like, takes place. The information that tells the cell, if you like, how to put together these proteins and in what order to place the monomers known as amino acids together are located in the nucleus. So all this genetic information that tells these ribosomes how to put these proteins together is located here. So this is almost like, some people call it the brain of the cell. I don't like calling it the brain of the cell, because although it does contain information that says to other bits of the cell how to do things, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the only thing involved with coordinating the cell, because there's things that come out of the cell, that come from the outside of the cell into the cell, and it's not, the nucleus doesn't operate the whole sort of system like a brain. It doesn't operate it in the same way, although it is associated with various functions of the cell. I wouldn't use the term brain. Okay, so you got ribosomes, mitochondria, cytoplasm where the chemical reactions take place, ribosomes where the proteins are made, mitochondria where the energy is produced in the form of ATP, which the cell uses, a cell membrane to encapsulate the whole thing to keep it together. I should also probably stress that the nucleus, this sort of region around the outside of the nucleus, is known as the nuclear envelope. You don't need to know that, but what you do need to know is that substances can move in and out of the nucleus, which is a very useful thing to know. Because obviously once this genetic information is what's known as transcribed, in order for these ribosomes to put the proteins together, a message needs to be sent from this nucleus to the ribosomes, and we'll learn more about that in some of my later videos relating to A-level biology, A-level cell biology. Okay, so that's the structure of an animal cell. I actually didn't plan on this video taking that long to describe an animal cell, but so my next video I'll focus that on other types of cells like plant cells and yeast cells and sort of other cells in general and how they differ in their function and structure. So thanks for listening. Hope you found this helpful. Hope it's helped with your revision a bit. And this has been AQA Unit 2 GCSE Biology, and this is my first video in a series of videos. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.